Hi, this is the Daily Overpass. My name is Eric and I make apps. Now today I'm in Oxford and I want to talk about the complexities of charging your clients. Okay, so I'm out of the office today. How's that, huh? I'm at a service station in Oxfordshire. Basically, this week has been crazy busy with client stuff. So I've been getting up early, getting into the office at 5 o'clock in the morning, working until late at night, just trying to catch up with client work. So it was at a point where, like today, I just thought, that's it. I just need to get out of the office. It's just, I've been overdoing it lately. And sometimes there's that balance between client work and your own apps. I don't know if you guys have ever read Seven Habits of Highly Effective People. Everybody's read it. If you haven't, you should. But he talks about the difference between something being important and something being urgent. It's one of the problems with, when you do client work, a lot of times it's urgent. There's a problem or there's something going on. You have to sort it out. And then you have important, and your own apps are important. So you have to keep putting your own apps out there. You have to keep, make sure you don't give up on those because you have all this client work and stuff that comes through. And client work is an acquired thing, and it's something that I'm definitely not the best at. So I don't want to give a lot of advice on this. But I did get a question today from my phone died. My phone died, so I don't remember the name, but I'll put it on the bottom of the screen. Asking, says, you talk a lot about working with clients. How do you go about doing it, or how much do you charge? And I did a video a few years ago. God, it must have been like 3 years ago, or 2 years ago, talking about how much does it cost to create an app. And it was kind of like the whole answer was it depends. And I get a lot of bad comments on that because it's like, it's not really a good answer. So you never answered the question. Now the reason I don't tell anybody how much I charge is because it always changes. Like when I would quote early on, I'd always quote too low, and it's something that I'm still always working on. So now when I sometimes I'll get emails from people. They'll say, they'll like a one sentence saying, I need an app. How much will it cost? And like it doesn't even say what the app is, and I have to go back and say it depends. And the thing is, I won't give a quote over the email, or sometimes I'll do it over the phone. Sometimes do it over Skype, or I'll give a ballpark. But the thing is, over the years, I've learned that, because I come from a technical background and I tend to think of things in technical solutions. So like if somebody says, if you came to me and you say, I need an app that's like Tinder, and I can say, okay, I look at Tinder, all that kind of stuff. And then you don't think about the non-technical side, like the design, the fonts, all that kind of stuff. So when I sit down with a client now, it's not just looking at the complexities of the project, it's also looking at the complexities of the client. So, sometimes, I'm looking at, I'm not only thinking about the project itself, I'm thinking about, is this person going to be somebody I want to work with? Are they rude? Are they pushy? Are they anxious? Are they uncertain? Are they somebody who's likely to have lots of issues in the future? Are they somebody who's going to ask, who wants a meeting and reassurance on a regular, too often or not enough? Which does not disqualify anybody. It's just there's other things I have to take into consideration. There have been projects in the past where I've gotten involved in so many meetings that and there's been so much scope creep that it's kind of you get to the point where that fixed price that you've given them is completely out of the water, and you're kind of just trying to get things done, and or you have to have an awkward situation where you have to tell them, look, we just can't, we can't do this anymore. And I know I always try to do fixed price quotes because that's what I would pay. That's the kind of thing I would go for, and I try to go there, and I try to keep it as low as possible, which doesn't always work because you have to think about all those little things that come in. And this is, like I said, this is an area where I don't want to give any advice because this is an area where I'm always learning. And there's this huge difference. When I talked before about being an app developer because of the freedom, doing work for clients is not that. It's the opposite of that. And so to give you an example, like I wake up in the morning and then I check the stats and I think, oh wow, I made like 50 pounds overnight or 80 pounds overnight, and that's really good because I didn't do anything. I just slept. Or I could go for a run and say, while I was running, I made 10 pounds. Because I have these apps out there, the important work that's bringing stuff in. But I also look at all the requests we get for new projects that come in. And you know, at the moment I get about 3 to 4 requests for quotes a week. Most of the time I just say we can't take it on. Sometimes I'll take a look at it. Sometimes I'll look at something and I'll think, this is interesting, like we could do something fun with that. You know, I've got my developers, but and it is, you know, and sometimes, you know, we'll go through it and that, but I never get out a price. First of all, if I gave out like a fixed price, then it would be difficult for me to raise that in the future, or it'd be difficult for me to change that with other people, because the circumstances are different for everybody. And I understand. I mean, when I first started, that was the one thing I wanted to do. Is I want to have like fixed priced apps. I want to have like fixed price development. I want to be able to put a price on the page, on the web page, and say this is how much it's going to cost, and you know, if you want this, and this is how much it's going to cost. But it doesn't take into consideration all the things that's required. I mean, I know if I mean, we've all been in a situation where we go to like a shop or to like a car lot, and there's no price on the thing that we're interested in, so we have to ask somebody. And sometimes you don't even bother because you think, well, you know, it might be too much. Or you'll ask and then they'll tell you the price and it's like way too much, like way more than you thought. And you're like, excuse me, how much is this? And they go, oh, it's, you know, $300. You're like, oh, okay. And you try to look all cool, like, you know, just put it back, you know. And that's what people ask. So it's really difficult, and I realize this when people call up. So I do try to give like a rough ballpark so that they know that I'm thinking thousands and not hundreds, you know, and that kind of stuff. And that, you know, helps people, you know, that way we get over that hurdle early on. But it's, you know, it's almost like if I could get out of a phone call without saying a price, I do. I mean, it's my own quirk, you know, just because I've been burned so much in the past. And I tell you what, there is nothing worse, there's nothing more devastating than when you're working on a project that you realize that you've paid more for the project than the client has. Like, you put more time and effort into it, and you just want to get the thing done. And that's happened to me a couple times in the past. It's the kind of thing where I'm really, really choosy going forward. There's sirens going by. Sirens going by. I hope everything's still working. Anyway, that's it for today. I'm out and about, just trying to get out there. Working with clients is something that, and you know, not all of you will want to do, and even every so often I think that's it, that's our last client, we're not going to do anymore. And then I think, well, there's so much money to be made out there, there's so many people who need work, and it's almost like the problem is not with them. You know, people are going to be difficult. You know, I can't change the fact that, you know, people are difficult and requirements are difficult. I have to change how I deal with those. And there are traditional project management ways that add a lot of bloat and a lot of cost to a project, and I try as hard as I can to go around those, but a lot of times it's just it's difficult. So anyway, long story, to make a long story short, that's why I don't put the price on the website. Once you put out a price out there, then it's difficult to change it for others. Anyway, I hope that makes sense. I'll talk to you guys later on.